For years, we've been led to believe that aging means fading away, as if the body simply becomes a shadow of what it once was. But what if that belief is wrong? What if it's still possible to awaken the body, like reviving a withered flower with a drop of clean water? What most people don't realize, and it pains me to say, is that there's a silent, persistent, almost invisible cause that's drying out millions of older adults from the inside. It's not a disease. It's not age. It's something that happens every day, in every corner of the home, without anyone noticing. This hidden cause has drained energy, dimmed that vital spark, and made many accept a decline that isn't inevitable. And yet, the solution is much closer than we think. For years, I've listened to men and women talk about how their strength is slipping away. I've seen the look in their eyes when they remember what it was like to move effortlessly, sleep through the night, or laugh with their whole body. And I've also seen what happens when they reclaim something as simple as a daily glass of life. Because yes, there's a forgotten, powerful, and natural key that can rekindle what once seemed lost. It doesn't require expensive formulas or magical promises, just attention, consistency, and a bit of trust. Today I'm going to tell you about 7 natural drinks that not only hydrate, but also awaken your body from within. They are quiet allies of energy, memory, rest, skin, and mood. Small liquid rituals that, when embraced with care, can reverse what once seemed irreversible. This isn't just another video, it's an invitation to see your body in a new light, to treat it like a garden that can still bloom. Let's begin. Because what you're looking for might already be in your kitchen. The first of these drinks is warm water with lemon on an empty stomach. Maybe you've heard of it before, but what people don't often explain is why it can make such a deep difference, especially at this stage of life. It's not a trend or a miracle cure. It's a way to gently and respectfully wake the body, allowing it to activate itself without shock, like someone slowly opening their eyes at dawn. I'll admit that for a long time, I didn't give it much thought. I assumed it was just a home remedy with no real foundation, until I started paying attention to what happened with older adults who drank it regularly. Women in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, who began their day with this seemingly simple habit. And over time, they regained mental clarity, improved digestion, and even noticed changes in their skin. These weren't promises. They were small, real transformations you could see in the way they walked, spoke, and looked. Warm lemon water feels like the body's first embrace of the day. Its gentle temperature soothes the digestive system, preparing it without aggression. The lemon, rich in citric acid and vitamin C, doesn't just detox, it stimulates the liver and helps with iron absorption, something especially valuable for those who feel their bodies have grown slower, heavier, more dim. But beyond its physical effects, this drink carries deep emotional meaning. Because starting the day with an act of self-care, something that costs nothing but changes everything, is a way of telling your body, I still choose you. There's something else I discovered that stayed with me. A woman named Helen, 83 years old, told me that every morning, before she speaks to anyone, she pours herself a glass of warm lemon water. She says it's her way of telling herself, I'm here. Since she started, her mood has shifted. She no longer feels invisible. She no longer begins her day in a fog, but with a renewed sense of presence. And even though her body still has its aches and pains, her energy, that spark that's so hard to define, has been reignited. None of this is complicated or expensive, but it does require a decision to treat the body with care, like a plant that can still bloom. And that first bloom might just be the beginning. Because what's coming next, what I'll show you in the following moments, not only awakens, it nourishes, it rebuilds from within. And that's another story worth hearing. The second drink I want to introduce you to carries something ancient and something almost miraculous. It's oat water. And I know maybe you've never tried it, or you associate it with bland, boring recipes. But what I want to share with you today isn't a recipe, it's a way to heal from deep within. Oats, when turned into a drink, hold a secret that few people know, but many have begun to rediscover. That secret isn't in the taste or even in the nutritional value, but in what it can do for a body that's tired, inflamed, anxious. I saw it in Peter, a 76-year-old man who felt like his body no longer obeyed him. He had stopped walking long distances, had trouble sleeping, and every meal sat in his stomach like a stone. It was his granddaughter who told him about oat water. At first he laughed. "You think that's going to help me?" he said. But he gave it a try. Day after day, he made his pitcher, let the oats soak, and drank with quiet faith. The change wasn't immediate, but within a few weeks, Peter began to feel different. His stomach stopped complaining. His dry, dull skin began to soften, and something in his spirit felt lighter, like he'd set down a weight he didn't even know he was carrying. Oats contain beta-glucans, a type of fiber that not only aids digestion, but also helps regulate blood sugar and cholesterol levels. This is crucial, especially for those dealing with diabetes, high blood pressure, or the metabolic wear and tear that comes with age. But beyond that, there's an emotional effect that can't be overlooked. This drink soothes. It contains avenine, a compound that gently acts on the nervous system like a warm hand on your back. For older women, often affected by nighttime anxiety or emotional lows, oats can be a quiet ally. It doesn't shout, it doesn't promise, it simply shows up. What's most unfair is how overlooked this marvel has been. Dismissed as an old-fashioned remedy, something for grandmas. And yet today, science supports it, and lived experience proves it. Because when someone like Peter starts sleeping well again, when a woman like Laura begins to wake up less tired, what's changing isn't just the body, it's hope. And that's where I want to take you next, because what comes now isn't just nourishing or soothing, it's a drink that ignites, that warms from within, that gets the body ready to move, to live with renewed strength. And that's something worth discovering. The third drink on this journey isn't cold, it isn't neutral, and it's definitely not mild. It's one of those that lights up your body from the very first sip. I'm talking about ginger and turmeric tea. And no, it's not a social media trend. This ancient combination is fire and root, warmth that awakens sleeping cells and brings back something many believe they've lost: the ability to defend, to heal, to stay strong in the face of time. Picture a winter day when your bones ache more, when your mood is shaky, when everything feels slower. Now imagine wrapping that day in a hot cup that not only comforts, but acts like a silent army moving through your body. That's what Teresa, a 78-year-old woman, experienced when she started drinking this tea at her daughter's suggestion. She admitted she struggled with the taste at first, but she kept going. And what happened in the following months felt almost magical. The chronic inflammation in her joints began to ease, her digestion improved, and her mood became more stable. "I feel like I've shed some kind of weight," she told me one day. "Like something inside me has been set free." Ginger and turmeric are powerful roots. The first is a natural stimulant for the immune and circulatory systems. The second is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant agents out there. Together, they create a synergy that helps fight degenerative processes, ease persistent pain, and keep the metabolism active. But there's something more. This tea carries a symbolic weight. It reminds us that warmth still exists within us. That even in old age, we can generate energy, passion, movement. For far too long, especially women have been led to believe that aging means fading, that their bodies should no longer burn, or feel, or seek well-being. That pain is just part of getting older. And that is a lie that's done too much harm. Because every sip of this drink is a way of saying, my body is still alive and it deserves to feel good. What matters here isn't the exact recipe or the precise time of day. It's the gesture. Preparing that cup is like lighting a candle in the night of fatigue. It's a ritual that says, I can still take care of myself. And that care, that gentle, persistent fire, is what leads us to the next step. Because what comes next doesn't just stimulate. It cleanses, it renews, and it brings back clarity. And that too can be a whole new beginning. The fourth drink has the color of hope and the scent of freshness. I'm talking about parsley water. Yes, that little green bunch most people use only as a garnish hides in its leaves a purifying power few could imagine. It's not flashy, it's not popular, but it holds a deep ability to cleanse the body from within, to release what's stagnant, to bring lightness back to those who feel weighed down. Let me tell you about Margaret, an 81-year-old woman who had been living with exhausted kidneys and sky-high blood pressure. Tired of medication and feeling constantly bloated, she started trying this drink, though with some doubt. Not because she didn't believe in natural remedies, but because she was used to expecting very little from her body. For weeks, every morning, she strained her fresh parsley infusion and drank it slowly, almost as if expecting nothing. But the body, when given what it needs, responds. The swelling in her legs began to go down. Her digestion improved. Her blood pressure stabilized, and something more delicate changed. Margaret began walking in the park again without fear of feeling heavy or breathless. It wasn't just a physical shift, it was a recovery of the right to move without fear. Parsley is a powerful natural diuretic. It stimulates kidney function, helps eliminate accumulated toxins, reduces fluid retention, and improves circulation. But beyond what it does physically, what it represents is even more valuable. It's a way of telling the body, I'm letting you breathe, I'm easing your load. In a world where everything feels heavy, memories, aches, worries, drinking parsley water can be a way to release. To cleanse not just the body, but the history carried within it. Often, older women have held so much, endured so much, that they feel like their bodies simply can't carry anymore. This drink is a gentle touch to that feeling. It doesn't demand. It doesn't punish. It simply supports the process of letting go, of returning to a lightness they thought was lost. And that brings us to what comes next. Because now it's time for a different kind of drink, one that doesn't just soothe or ignite. The next one is about restoration, about repairing what time has worn down. And once you meet it, you'll understand how simple gestures can transform entire years. The fifth drink in this journey is golden milk, a warm, comforting preparation that feels like it belongs to an ancient, loving ritual. Its color is like the evening sun, and its effect like a soft blanket wrapping around your body, whispering, you can rest now, you can heal. This drink isn't just a natural remedy, it's a symbol, because it speaks to the possibility of regeneration, of rebuilding from within, even after years of wear and tear. I saw it in the story of Ansel, an 85-year-old man who had forgotten what it felt like to sleep well. His nights dragged on endlessly, anxiety, aching legs, a restless mind. He had tried everything, drops, pills, teas. One day his neighbor told him about golden milk, made with turmeric, a touch of ginger, plant-based milk, and a pinch of black pepper. He didn't believe in it at first, but one night, without expectations, he prepared it. He drank it slowly, eyes closed, and something changed. It wasn't instant, but that night he slept a bit longer. The next morning, his body felt less tense. He began repeating the ritual, night after night, as a quiet act of faith. Within 2 weeks, he wasn't the same man, not because of how much he slept, but because of how he felt when he woke. Lighter in his body, clearer in his mind, more open in spirit. Golden milk brings together ingredients that work as restoratives for the nervous system, the immune system, and emotional balance. Turmeric fights chronic inflammation, so common in aging. Ginger stimulates circulation. Plant-based milk offers smooth, effortless nourishment, and black pepper, small as it seems, enhances the absorption of active compounds like a key unlocking the body's doors. But beyond all that, this drink creates a moment. A pause before sleep. A quiet reconnection with yourself when there are no more demands or distractions. In many cultures, this kind of nighttime drink means more than health. It means care. And in our lives, how often has that care been missing? How many women have spent decades caring for everyone but themselves? How many men have learned to silence their fatigue until their bodies give out? Golden milk is an invitation to break that cycle, to say, at least once a day, I deserve to rest too. I deserve to heal. And what comes next, after this deep rest, is a drink that connects you with joy. It doesn't just heal, it doesn't just soothe, it lifts the spirit, brings back your smile, renews your desire to be here. And that is a powerful reason to keep going. The sixth drink on this journey is one that brings a smile from the very first moment. Its flavor is sweet and gentle, its color comforting, and its effect goes beyond the physical. It lifts the spirit, brightens gray days. I'm talking about papaya and flaxseed smoothie. And while it might sound like a tropical breakfast treat, this combination is actually a deep gesture of emotional and digestive restoration. Because when the body feels slow, inflamed, or low, sometimes all it needs is something that treats it with tenderness. I met Dorothy at a neighborhood gathering. She was 79, walked with a slow grace, and spoke with a soft voice. She told me she had suffered from chronic constipation for years, something that affected not just her body, but her mood, her appetite, her desire to go out. I felt weighed down inside, she said, and it even changed how I looked at life. A neighbor suggested she start her mornings with this simple smoothie. Half a ripe papaya, a tablespoon of flaxseed soaked overnight, and a bit of water. She gave it a try, and within a week, something began to release. Her belly stopped hurting. Her mood lightened. She started going back to the market, laughing with neighbors. And one day, she told me something I'll never forget. I didn't know feeling good inside could change so much of what happens outside. Papaya is rich in papain, an enzyme that aids digestion and soothes inflammation in the gastrointestinal system. It's perfect for those who've lost digestive strength with age or feel their belly has become a battlefield. Flaxseed, meanwhile, is a source of soluble fiber that regulates the digestive system without harshness. But together, these two do something more. They restore. They don't just cleanse the body, they bring back that feeling of lightness, well-being, openness. And when an older person feels less bloated, more regular, more at ease in their body, something shifts in the way they see the world. Because feeling good at the core is the first step in making peace with the body. This smoothie isn't expensive. It's not hard to make. It doesn't require fancy blenders or exotic ingredients, but it does require one essential thing: the will to care for yourself again. To say, I deserve to feel good, and that's what makes it so powerful. The drink that comes next is different. It doesn't just cleanse or restore. It's one that connects to memory, to mental clarity, to that part of the body that sometimes feels foggy with age. And once you discover it, you'll understand that the mind, too, can wake up with a single sip. The seventh and final drink in this journey is rosemary and sage tea. And while it might sound like an old grandmother's recipe, what it holds is ancient wisdom that science is only now beginning to rediscover. Because this infusion doesn't just smell like fresh countryside, like childhood memories, like kitchens where time moved slower. It also has a powerful quiet effect on the mind. It clears, sharpens, awakens. Mary Ellen, 86 years old, started drinking this tea after noticing she was becoming more and more forgetful. "It's like the words were hiding from me," she said. She had stopped reading because she couldn't focus, and she had trouble remembering whether she'd eaten or taken her pills. Her granddaughter, who was studying natural medicine, made her this blend one afternoon. And by the next week, Mary Ellen had already picked up her favorite book again. "It's not like I'm young again," she said, laughing, "but I feel like the fog in my head has lifted." Rosemary has neuroprotective properties. It improves blood flow to the brain, stimulates memory, and helps with mild confusion. Sage, on the other hand, calms anxiety and boosts concentration. Together, they create a kind of gentle mental tonic, with no side effects and no empty promises. But what's most moving about this infusion isn't just its ingredients, it's what it represents, a way to reclaim clarity, presence, autonomy. Because when an older person feels they can trust their mind again, their world changes, they speak up, they make decisions, they remember with pride. And this is where I want to pause. Because maybe after hearing all of this, you're wondering if you can really do it. If it's truly possible to change how you care for your body, your energy, your rest, your clarity. And the answer isn't perfect or magical, but it is real. Yes, you can. Not because you have to, but because it's not too late. Because the body, even after decades, still responds to care. And these 7 drinks aren't a rigid formula. They are invitations, open doors, small rituals that can bring you back to yourself. Not every day will be easy. There will be days you forget, days you don't feel like it, days you think it's too late. And that, too, is part of the path. What matters is not giving in to resignation. It's understanding that each sip is a way of saying, "I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm still choosing myself." This journey ends here, but not with a conclusion. Because what you've just seen isn't a list of drinks, it's a gesture of hope. A reminder that taking care of your body isn't a luxury, it's a right, and that each day brings the chance to begin again. And now that you know, what if tomorrow you prepared one of these infusions? What if you gave yourself that moment? Because sometimes, in a single glass, a new story can begin. What you've just heard isn't just a list of natural remedies. It's a deep reminder that your body is still alive and that it deserves to be cared for with love, with patience, with truth. Because in a world that's so often told you it's too late, that there's no turning back, you have the right to begin again. Not from perfection, but from choice. Today we walked through 7 liquid paths, but what you really walked was a journey back to yourself, back to that part of your story that still has chapters left to be written. And maybe you won't change everything overnight. Maybe you won't make every drink or do it every day. That's okay. Just one is enough. A glass of lemon water in the morning, a rosemary infusion in the afternoon, a smoothie that soothes your belly and brings back your smile. That alone is already a way to heal. Maybe tomorrow, as you boil water or slice fruit with your hands, you'll remember that this gesture is more than just routine. It's a decision. It's an act of tenderness toward your body, toward your life, toward everything you still have the power to feel, enjoy, and share. Because no, it's not too late. Your body hasn't given up. It was simply waiting for you to listen, to see it in a new light, to give it what it truly needs. Not expensive medications, not strict diets, not hollow solutions, just a little attention, a little love, a little water to wake it from within. And if something in this video touched your heart, I invite you to write one phrase in the comments, words that say it all. I'm coming back to myself. That phrase is the seed that can grow in the days to come. Write it. Let others read it. Maybe someone else, seeing it, will feel inspired to begin too. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, a friend who cares for everyone but herself, a brother who's tired, a mother who's forgotten what it feels like to feel good, share it. You never know when a few simple words might arrive just in time. Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling, for trusting. This conversation isn't over. There are more paths, more stories, more ways to return to your center, and in this community, there will always be a place for you.